For us with ADHD, memory can be as elusive as a shooting star. We can remember the most minute and random details, but some of the most foundational activities that are actually central to our hearts can escape us without us even realizing. How do we embed the most precious parts of our lives more firmly in our forebrain so that our follow-through more accurately reflects our heart's intentions? I'm Dana Hicks, a licensed clinical mental health counselor, and I have 5 tips for improving memory exactly where it counts. Tip 1 is the dump list. So sometimes really important details appear when we don't have the time, energy, or space in our brain to process them. That's why we need a dump list or a predetermined place that you can put those things, knowing that you've already reserved plenty of time to thoroughly process them and think about what they actually are. But that time is a different time than now. Tip 2 is individualize your input. So picture your future self bumping into a detail that's important but not able to be processed at the moment. Ask your unique brain what the quickest and most accessible way would be to capture that information. Tip 3 is individualize your output. So if there was a perfect time and day that you were most primed for sitting down and planning your week or day according to those loose ends, what would it be? And also, where do you see yourself being at that day and time? Now, consider your future self in that time and space. Where would be the most accessible place to find those loose ends? Would it be on your phone, in your notes? Would it be in your most recent pictures? Would it be in your most recent voice recordings? Would it be in your paper planner? Would it be on your computer in your planner? Think about what would be the most accessible and effective for your future self's brain. Also, ask yourself at what point before this magical moment and in what mode might you most need a reminder that the magical moment is happening soon. Once you get those answers, plant those reminders immediately so that you know that they're there and you can trust that magical moment is going to happen. Is sync your input with your output. So what if your answers are different for your input than for your output? That just means you need to plant a link between the two, which means leaving yourself a message in the output mode about where you actually put the dump list in the beginning. So an example would be if your input was to take a picture of the thing and your output was, when I sit down to plan, I'm going to go for my planner though. So just write yourself a note in your planner of where to find that dump list, which will be in your picture folder in your phone. Tip 5 is owning your own process. So when you're in the planning mode and going through all the items on your dump list, if there's something that you want to commit to memory or engage with just a lot more thoroughly, things to do would be continue playing around with those senses and the modes of interaction to see what lands best with your brain. Maybe you experiment with a mode that you're not that familiar with. Maybe it's the magic one. Who knows? So examples of the different senses is that you could voice record yourself saying the content and then play it back to yourself. You could write the content repeatedly if you want. You could draw the pictures of the content. You could draw the symbols that just automatically pop up in your mind when you think about that content. You could hang the content on something that you already know by heart, like numbers or the alphabet. Or if you take the same commute every day, hang each part of the content on different landmarks that you know go in a certain order. Or if you've memorized a dance, hang each part of the content on the movements sequenced out like you already know. Things to do either before or during all this rehearsal and processing to really engage your forebrain so that you automatically really think clearly and intentionally and effectively are any movement that's repetitive that goes back and forth. So rocking, walking, dancing, skipping, hopping, it really helps the information get where it needs to go. To wrap up, memory can be such a fickle thing for us ADHDers, but hopefully the tips in this video has sparked your creative juices on connecting with your unique processing and set you well on your way to the kind of follow-through that accurately reflects your heartfelt intentions. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment below with no strings attached.